What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as we get going. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. You become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. But my God, another just ridiculous, stupid, absurd blowout I talked about last night. Luka Doncic, hey! Well, I didn't know he was going to be sick and dry heave on the side of the floor. Those kind of things don't necessarily get factored into my model. Sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you, and sometimes the bear just destroys your soul, eating you from the inside out. That's graphic. We're going to get away from that. The rest of the show, we're going to simply get going. Bet $5, win $200 over at DraftKings. That's good. We have the premium Discord going for you. We have NBA Bet Pro, one of the coolest tools you could possibly ever find at Stochastic to help you identify the best player props day in, day out. That'll be updated throughout the day tomorrow. It'll react as things are happening in terms of injury news. Definitely want to be checking that out too. So lots of great stuff going on here at Stochastic over at the Odd Shopper channel, but I'm obviously disappointed about the results the last 2 days. We're just tipping off here now of this Clippers-Nuggets game, so they're on the slate again today for Friday, so both of those teams on back-to-back, so I need a couple of things to go right there. That's for damn sure, but looking forward to getting back on track. Tuesday was awesome. Wednesday and Thursday were just shit so far, so we are looking forward, looking ahead to the weekend. You know what? That being said, let's get to the picks. Time to bounce back. We get the weekend started with Trailblazers and Pacers. Flat out bad loss by Portland and Minnesota on Wednesday. Thank God I didn't bet it. One of the good things that happened on Wednesday. And then OT loss in Philly for the Pacers. But maybe surprising to preseason expectations, it's January 5th, January 6th by the time most of you listen to this. And both teams, both of them, Trailblazers and the Pacers, are above 500. And while I think long-term, neither are contenders in their respective conferences, and they'd agree, there's still two above-average teams with well above-average pieces in Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons on the Trailblazers side, and of course, Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers. I'll throw Miles Turner into the mix too, but a pretty important piece in Jeremy Grant sits questionable for the Blazers on Friday that leads to no props on that side of the ball. And from the Pacers side, Halliburton's assist rate is finally gone below 50% after an absurd pace to start off the season, settling in at 46.6%. It's tough to get a gauge for when he's going to go off in some of these spots, whether it's going to be through scoring or playmaking, at least whichever one. I bet he does the other one on that day. So I've been largely staying away here in the last week or two. And largely, that's made a lot of his teammates pretty unenthusiastic backings in the props market as well. That means the only thing left here to do is bet aside, hoping injury news breaks your way, which right now it would be on the Pacers side. We're going to be laying just the single point over on DK and hope that Jeremy Grant sits. But I have no feel for that whatsoever. It's a quadriceps issue. Sounds painful. I don't know what to make of it. So lean Pacers, but there's a ton of other places to go on this card where I think we could take advantage of potential news and much better advantageous lines. Probably just going to be a lean, not going to be making my card here on the Pacers side. Well, this spot changed drastically. It's the Chicago Bulls heading to Philly to take on the Joel Embiid-less, 76ers without Joel Embiid. The big man already ruled out with a foot issue. That doesn't sound too serious because they're saying that he could possibly play Sunday. He's not playing basketball Friday. Bad enough to get the quick hook the day before, and you believe that matters. Embiid is one of the best players in the league by virtually any metric. 98th percentile offensive piece, 93rd percentile defender, 99th in EPM for the third straight season on dunks and threes. Dude's insane at the game of basketball. So yeah, Montrezl Harrell and possibly Paul Reed if they opt to go that route. Those are steep downgrades in the front court. And the Bulls' big three, in quotation marks, that's what you want to call DeRozan, LaVine, and Vooch. They're all healthy and dandy for this one. And it's a team that's played the third toughest adjusted strength of schedule so far this season. So it's still tough to know what to make of them as we approach the halfway mark of the season. But friends, there is a lock button in our future. And he goes by the name of Zachariah LaVine, the first of his name. At least I think so. I don't think he's a junior. His points prop sits at 21.5 with minimal extra juice. Minus 115 on the old DraftKings.com. He's averaging 22.4 per game. He gets Harden and Maxey defense on the perimeter, which is a not good defense. And there's no doubt LaVine's usage isn't off the charts at 26.8%, but he's started to play massive massive minutes of late in competitive games. And contrary to what we've seen here today with Boston and Dallas, we definitely have these opportunities where you're inside of 5, inside of 6. You expect this to be pretty competitive without outlier performances. And for all you people playing spreads, I don't completely hate the idea of packaging LaVine with the plus 4.5 you're getting with the Bulls. Take it along for the ride. Worked nicely packaging his threes last time with the points prop, and maybe I do that again. Maybe you could do that again. Maybe play all 3 of them together. But no matter what you decide to do with a parlay, absolutely play LaVine over 21.5 points. No, Maxey, Harden, best of luck to you guys. He's going to be able to just chuck at will. DeRozan, a little bit higher usage on the season, but I think this is a phenomenal spot to invest in our guy Zachariah. Next up, we've got the Raptors hosting the Knicks, and what a wacky, wild end to that Bucks outing for the Raptors last time around. Wasn't enough, but was encouraging to see. And what an outing from Fred VanVleet first game back. That is useful. And Nick Nurse, you knew he was going to absolutely play him like crazy, but 47 minutes? I didn't necessarily see that. He did play 36 minutes the game before, but yeah, overtime special. Can't believe the run they went on to close that one out. Now, Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel Quickly, absent RJ Barrett. This has been very, very fun to watch. You're seeing Julius Randle kind of revert to a little bit of 2020 form. I like what we've seen from the Knicks here in recent outings, but this is a healthy Raptors team for the very first time in a very, very long time. Minimal minus 150 juice. I think this is a nice spot to possibly package it with some Pascal Siakam PRAs, some points plus rebounds plus assists, some things of that nature that all look pretty good to me. But my favorite is that minus 150 on the money line. Don't think that that's nearly enough. I'm going to be laying it here on a very difficult to handle New York Knicks team. The top, they're cold, they're yes, they're no, they're up, then they're down. I'm not going to sing Katy Perry, don't worry. We're going to move along, though, and bet Toronto on the money line. Shh, I bet you know what's coming up next. I don't even want to say his name. If you're listening to this on podcast form, you can go over and read it. But I'm not going to say his name, but I like an over of 21.5 points today. I bet you can guess, if you've ever seen the show, exactly who I'm talking about. Now, I'm just saying, it's a pretty unbelievable thing. We're back on board. We're back on board here. His name's Bojan. Yeah, we're back on the Bojan thing. I might as well just give it all to you right now. You sign up at DraftKings. You bet $5 in the link below. You're going to get $200 in free bets no matter what, so why not? Why not have some fun while we're at it? We're going to be betting the over of Bojan Bogdanovic, 21.5 points, because we're back online, baby. It's time to go. You might as well double dip, get that $5, have that go towards that, and then you're going to get $200 in free bets. That's going to be 8 free $25 bets for you guys over on DraftKings.com. Congratulations if you haven't signed up over there yet, because you're going to get this amazing, amazing offer, one of the best that I've ever seen here over at DraftKings. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. Like Colonel Sanders, I'm from the South, and we're going to go down to the bayou. I'm not from the South. I'm from the Southern Dakota. It's kind of a random transition, but either way, we're going to Louisiana. We've got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Zion Williamson-less Pelicans. That's really hard to say, but you know what's not hard to see? How good this Brooklyn Nets team has been here. Not just of late, because we're pretty sure that they've been awesome here of late, but they're up to 4th in adjusted net rating, just behind Boston, Memphis, and Cleveland now on dunks and threes. That's basically an overall metric of this basketball team, but I want to highlight how good they've been defensively. 9th in adjusted defensive rating. When you're as good as what they are on the offensive end of the floor, 4th in adjusted offensive rating. Pretty surprising when you're starting Kyrie and Kevin Durant out there. Kevin Durant, kind of an underrated defender, helps to be long and lanky like that. But either way, pretty impressed by what they've started to put together. And that has a lot to do with, Ben Simmons. Yeah, Ben Simmons averaging 8, 7, and 6. What a weird human being to be looking at. I mean, those are like legitimately John Stockton-esque. I mean, he would have had a little bit more points per game, let's be serious. But Ben Simmons finding ways to affect this basketball game just on the defensive end of the floor and doing what he does, guarding every single position in the pick and roll, switching on guys. Every 25 to 28 minutes that he's playing per game is kind of a nightmare for the other side on the offensive end. So I'm just saying, if you weren't going to get any productivity or James Harden just not showing up and playing there, that trade is going to work out really well for both teams over the course of the next year or two. Now, if he ends up going to Houston, that's a conversation for James Harden for a different day. But I'm looking at this Pelicans team, and did they go completely bonkers last time out and make me feel like an idiot when I had the Houston money line? Yeah, they absolutely did. But I don't care. This is an obvious spot where I want to invest against a team that now Brandon Ingram is not going to be playing on Friday, even though there were reports that he was possibly going to be coming back. I have this being around a 7-point spread. There are 4.5s. I know it says -5 on the side of your screen here. That's at DraftKings.com, but there are 4.5s that exist. And at that number, I want to be locking in Brooklyn. It is really hard to find something as advantageous as what this is. But we have no Zion, no Brandon Ingram. Larry Nance is going to be questionable for this one. I doubt that he ends up playing here in this one as well. And then Hernan Gomez, the backup center, questionable after getting dinged up there on Wednesday as well. Lots of pieces here from the Pelicans side. And CJ McCollum, I know his props are going to be steamed to the moon. So I might be looking at taking a couple unders there with this improved defensive unit from the Nets, with an improved demeanor that it looks like out on the floor with Kyrie and company. Just saying, lock button, -4.5, or at DraftKings, simple little unit play will do just fine there at -5. We go to Charlotte visiting Milwaukee next. Best of luck to them. How about a lopsided 11-point spread? I really like reading the left side of the screen today. But we've got Kelly Oubre continuing to be out. Gordon Hayward coming off of being doubtful, then downgraded to out on Wednesday. He is entering this game questionable. We got to pay attention to all those things, but it's very obvious to me. You got to see Drew Holiday probable and get really excited if you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan. Milwaukee tried their best to lose that road game in Toronto in the most devastating way possible. And of course, Giannis PRAs have been very, very profitable here of late. Ended up just nuking it there in that overtime period as well. 30, 21, and 10. I guess he's pretty good at basketball. I hope you noticed he was pretty good at basketball. And in that vein, hard for me to be looking at the Charlotte side, even as good as LaMelo Ball can be from time to time, as offensively competent as what he is, and feel like I want to get anywhere near that spread. But I'm absolutely on board with how good this Milwaukee team is defensively. Third in adjusted defensive rating, 109.3 in that regard. They've had a pretty flat strength of schedule here so far, but now they're facing one of the weaker oppositions in the entire NBA here in the Charlotte side. They are down to 29th in adjusted net rating and 26th in adjusted defensive rating. But what I don't think people understand is how bad this Pelicans team has been on the offensive end of the floor. And I know LaMelo Ball was out for a majority of the season, and Terry Rozier has been dinged up at times, but you're looking at possibly being without Gordon Hayward in this spot too. I am very interested in shorting a team that is dead last in adjusted offensive rating in the entire NBA. I was a little bit surprised that I hadn't even noticed that to this point, but shouldn't surprise me. You look at their record, they're 10-29, worst in the NBA, tied for the worst with Houston on the season. There's a reason for that. They're not very good. So I actually like the under in this one. 230 is what's available right now over at DraftKings, but there is a 234.5 that is available elsewhere. Go find it, go beat it down, hit the like button on it, get a nice standard unit in, decent enough play to get in right now. Next up, we go to Oklahoma City here. We got Washington visiting them, and Bradley Beal continuing to be out. That's going to matter, and there are going to be some props, some interest that I have there in the Porzingis side. I looked at the assist. He's only averaging 2.5, and there seems to be a flat 2.5 that's going to be existing in some kind of capacity there. A couple of spots that are already available, but we are going to be waiting constantly with books going forward because OKC loves, and I mean loves, to randomly add guys to the injury report halfway through the day. So we don't have any of that news here right now, but SGA sat out 2 games ago. He had the illness, and then they just played like complete garbaggio when he returned going up against Orlando. Pretty hefty loss there. I'll be looking at SGA props. I think that there's generally been a decent enough spot, a couple of decent spots to maybe take some overs there. He's the only piece that you really need to be interested in on the OKC side, but a lot that I'm going to be paying attention to going forward in this one. And I think SGA with the over a 5.5 assists, where that number has routinely been, I think that's going to be my favorite from it. It gets a like because those are posted, but still, we don't even have the spread. So we got to be paying attention to a lot of factors in this one. I expect we should have this by the time you guys check this out in the morning. But if you ever have questions, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. In the comment section below, I'm always looking, always watching. Look at the baby, look at the baby. I'll help you guys out. Happy to go and give you guys all the information, and let me know what movie I just quoted. We move on. SGA over 5.5 assists. We've got the Pistons. We've got the Spurs up next, and massive news from the Spurs side. Their tanking just got a lot easier. And why? Devin Vassell sounds like he's going to be getting arthroscopic knee surgery. So not ideal from your top scorer. Well, I mean, him and Keldon Johnson 1-2 in some capacity, but I like Devin Vassell as a piece. One of like the 3 competent NBA players. I'll put Jakob Poeltl into that conversation too, but 3 competent Spurs pieces. Pretty much everybody else that you could take or leave from this squad. But just like Stringer Bell from The Wire, you guys know, you run and tell everyone we're back up, because guys, we are on the Bojan train. I don't know what happened. Sometimes you just gotta pump the brakes a little bit. And that's surely what we did with our boy this season. We rode him. He was the absolute secretariat of the first half of our NBA season. But sometimes you put the horse in the corner, you let him rest up, you give him a little time, and then you grab the whip and you ride it back onto the track, baby. It is time. Bojan Bogdanovic looked incredible against Golden State, and a lot of people are going to look incredible against Golden State from time to time. Not the greatest perimeter defense, not that that's necessarily him. He's power forward. Draymond Green, confirmed good defender, but looking at Bojan, still over a 27.5% usage without Cade Cunningham on the floor. Jaden Ivey, the usage has started to come down. I'm so over that dude. Watch him go for 30 now today. Just saying. But specifically, Jaden Ivey did not close that basketball game. You were looking at a closing unit. Sadiq Bey coming into the grouping. You had Alec Burks, who ended up closing that game over Jaden Ivey straight up. Lots of interesting things to be paying attention to from a basketball team nobody else cares about besides us. I would say the Spurs as well, but you're looking at a 1-point spread. You're looking at a 21.5 points prop for Bojan here. I don't know what else to do other than jam this thing to the moon. So, for the first time in a long time, lock button. Yeah, if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It is Bojan Bogdanovic season. To the moon we go. 21.5 at almost standard juice. Too good to be true for Friday. What a brutal back-to-back for the Clippers here. No line, no nothing, and I just checked in. They're down infinity to the Nuggets here at halftime. 66-32. I hate Thursday, but you know what? That could mean different things here on Friday. I will say, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, maybe they just rest them coming out of the half here. And that's something I won't know whether or not it happens here by the end of this recording. But it's something you should look up on the Google machine. It takes you 30 seconds. You go to ESPN. You see, hey, did Kawhi Leonard and Paul George play over 25 minutes? If they did, I find it unlikely that they both end up playing. You could be looking at Terrence Mann's season. You could be looking at a number of different starters there. Zubats could certainly end up resting coming out of the half here as well after getting just punished by Joker in that first half. It looks like Aaron Gordon doing a majority of the damage, but that was my live look in. Clippers, lots of problems there, lots of things to be paying attention to, but I don't have a line out here yet. That's why it says NA. That's not Narcotics Anonymous. Just saying, it's no line available. Not available. So, just letting you know, Minnesota Timberwolves, not my favorite team to be betting in the entire land. You know this by now. It's my basketball team. Nas Reed questionable. Karl Anthony Towns continuing to be out. Really your only 2 pieces of news on that front. But not that that matters all that much when you talk about Nas. Well, it matters a lot to me because Nas Reed has been a god and Karl Anthony Towns is our best player. But you know what I'm getting at. Minnesota money line. That's about the only spot you could possibly go, and I have to be paying attention to that very, very intently. Does Kawhi play on a back-to-back? I doubt it. Does Paul George, after being questionable, play on a back-to-back? I doubt it. We'll find out. Lots to be determined here, but I'm obviously leaning the Minnesota side of this one on the money line. From one part of that Clippers debauchery to the other, Cavs heading to Denver. Denver getting to play a 2-game set, unlike the Clips, getting to stay at home. That's nifty. Now, the Cleveland side, I did see a line. So we've got NA there, but we just had a line drop pretty recently here. 225.5, that seems to be the total that I'm looking at right now. And according to that, I'm actually making that my like in this direction. I think the under looks very, very good in this one. One, you could be getting some piece. Jamal Murray, doubt he plays on a back-to-back, even if he plays limited minutes here in the second half against the Clippers. Two, Nikola Jokic. Hey, he's doing everything for this basketball team. I mean, that's a big that is going to be going up against the front court of Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. These are two guys who could actually defend one of the best, if not the best basketball player in the entire association right now. And three, no Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, you heard me. Donovan Mitchell will be ruled out for rest going up against Denver on Friday. How are they going to score the basketball here? Darius Garland better play. He's been upgraded to questionable, but otherwise, you're looking at Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen carrying this offense. That's not nearly as enticing as having their best offensive player by far in Donovan Mitchell out on the floor. So I'm looking at this number as way too high at open, 225.5. I know that's low by NBA standards in the year of our Lord 2023, but I like the under. I think you should too. Okay. I have not been looking forward to this game all night long. We've got the Miami Heat. I don't even want to say their name. The Miami Heat facing the Phoenix Suns, and WTF Miami opened as 3.5-point favorites. We locked that. We triple locked that. We loved every part of that game. It closes at 8.5 against the Lakers on Wednesday. I'm sitting on an absolute goldmine ticket. I didn't even hedge out on the plus 8.5. I should have, because of course the Lakers win straight up. Why wouldn't the Lakers win straight up? Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, everybody healthy, LeBron James out, Lonnie Walker out, and Dennis Schroeder and Thomas Bryant just annihilate your basketball team? WYD. I'm over it. My voice just went into another octave, but hey, let's break down Friday. That's all that matters here. I'm looking at the Suns money line, and this is probably the only play that I have any kind of interest in whatsoever here. I've been looking at the props for the last however long. If I decide to do anything, I might short a Miami prop or two. They don't have a lot of the ancillary pieces on the market here as of right now. But no Devin Booker, obviously there for the Phoenix side. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, those are going to be your primary offensive guys from the Phoenix side. Nothing too appealing there, but after what I just saw in Los Angeles on Wednesday, there is zero chance I am betting this Miami basketball team right now. Eric Spoelstra, get your shit together. Phoenix on the money line. That's my lean. And the last game of our night, did we get on the right side of Atlanta? We got on the right side of Atlanta last time out. Yay! Golden State. They ended up taking it down, which makes sense considering they're the far healthier squad. And now Clint Capella upgraded to questionable here now. I doubt he ends up playing on Friday, so be paying attention to that. Just saying, but they're going to be facing this exact same Lakers team and LeBron James, now probable for this one. So that matters big time. Russell Westbrook probable as well, coming off of a very, very nice outing. But shout out Dennis Schroeder for just torching my hopes and all my dreams and my bankroll on Wednesday. I hate you. I hate you. But this Hawks team, I'm telling you, Clint Capella, him possibly being back, that's not really as big of a factor as what you might expect. He's somebody who's been in a timeshare there with Okongwu quite a bit. Onyeka Okongwu has been very, very phenomenal in the center spot and now playing a lot of minutes alongside John Collins. They've looked really good in that starting rotation together. John Collins just beasting out. Lakers up in pace. This is exactly what you want to see for this Atlanta squad that likes to move it, and get everything going up and down the floor here. I just don't see how we're not invested in Atlanta going up against the Lakers here in this spot. Maybe I get burned again. Totally possible. But for once, we saw that Trae Young, DeJounte Murray backcourt work out in our favor. Glory be and the Saints be praised. Let's try to run it back after that Sacramento W. I think they get another road W here in LA. Small play. Might be a little bit larger here. Pay attention to that injury news. Clint Capella, again, not going to matter as much as you would think, but I've got this one strongly on the side of the Hawks. And that does it for another week. Yeah, another week of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on the board for Friday. Let me know if there's anything that I bet that's just moronic. Like, I don't know, any Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum props that I threw up there on Wednesday. I want to throw up thinking about how bad that was. But I'm looking forward to bouncing back this weekend. You can bounce back and guarantee yourself a win when you sign up at DraftKings. I know a lot of you already have, but if you haven't yet, congratulations. You bet $5, you're guaranteed to get $200 as soon as that bet settles. So bet something tomorrow in the NBA, in the college basketball streets. No matter what it is, you're going to get yourself $200 in free bets for play over the weekend. Alrighty, y'all. A-Town will be with you guys Saturday and Sunday. I'll be back on Monday per usual. But until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Friday.